Okay, Peter. Uh, yeah, this is the homework we wanted to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the most of the questions you have done correctly, and I think we'll just discuss the ones which you couldn't do. Okay, the ones which you didn't know about. Like the first question itself, number 4. If you look at number 4, look here. Can you see the
Yeah.
pointer? Uh, Question number 3 you did correctly. Approximate the coordinates where the statue is to be placed and what does this coordinate represent. You must have looked at the grid, at the graph, and counted the
Yeah.
coordinates and written it. And listen, you got it as 6, 3.2, right? That's right.
Yeah.
But then the fourth question, look at the fourth question. It says, how could you confirm the coordinates found in this exercise? That is 6, 3.2. How do you confirm it? Now, for coordinates of centroid, there's a formula for finding the coordinates. Okay. If you know the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle, like if you know that here the vertices of the triangle, what are the vertices? Can you tell me?
A, B, and C.
Yeah, A is down, is it? Just let me check the
A
figure.
is 0.
We just look at, yeah, A is 0 0, B 6 8, and C 12 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me put A here. Can you see where I'm writing?
Yeah.
C is 12 2, and B is 6
B,
8.
6.
Okay. Now, if the three vertices are known, we can always find the centroid by just taking the average between the x coordinates and the y coordinates. Look what I've written over here. See, coordinates of the centroid will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3. So in this
Yeah.
case, it would be 0 plus 6 plus 12, 18 divided by 3, and then 0 plus 8 plus 2, 10 divided by 3. So that you get approximately 6, 3.3, right? Whereas from the graph, we got 6, 3.2, which is an approximate value. All right? This is how you can confirm it. Confirm it using the formula. Okay?
Okay.
Then the next question, even that here, see in the diagram, MK and LK are angle bisectors of the triangle, and the measure of M and L is 110. Find the measure of MKL. You've tried it, you got 70, but actually the answer is 145. Okay, and there here also actually this is a very nice question for you to know. It's a good question to remember. There's a method of doing this also, and you can remember like a formula. You can always remember it. We have N, we have M, L, and these are the bisectors, angle bisectors. Okay, and this is 110. Okay. Now suppose a measure of angle M you keep as x degree, and the measure of angle L you keep as y degree. Okay. So since these are bisectors, MK and LK are bisectors, the angle over here is going to be x over 2, right?
Okay.
And this is going to be y over 2. Okay. So your angle K, which you're asked to find measure of MKL, isn't it? That is measure of MKL would be equal to 180 minus the sum of x over 2 and y over 2. Did you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can make this as 180 minus x plus y over 2. Okay? X over 2 plus y over 2 is the same as x plus y over 2. Now, if you look at the full triangle NML, we have 110 over here, we have x over here, we have y over here. So what will be x plus y? X plus y would be 180 minus 110, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is 70. So x plus y over 2 would be the half of 70, which is 35. Yeah. So I can subtract 35 over there. So I get here, I can substitute. I can put 35 and I get the answer is 145. Okay, but it's always good to remember in such a situation, like when you have a triangle, you're given this angle, suppose we call it angle triangle ABC, and we have the bisectors, okay, internal bisectors, these are known as, then angle D will always be 90 plus half of angle A. You can remember it like a formula. Okay, here also it works, isn't it? 90 plus half of 110. 90, yeah, 90 plus 55 is 145. So if you get a question like this, and if you can remember this, you can go for the answer straight away. Okay, next question. The next one also, that's involving triangle inequality. Okay, you're given two sides of the triangle, and you have to find the suitable, which of the following lengths could not represent. Okay, out of these, which does not represent the length of the third side. So here again, let me use green color here. Uh, we have the two sides of the triangle given, 17 and 22. Suppose the third side is x, then you know the triangle inequality, isn't it? X should be less than 17 plus 22, because sum of two sides should always be greater than the third side. Okay? In a triangle, that's a triangle inequality. Sum of two sides of a triangle will always be greater than the third side. So the third side will always be less than the sum of the two. So x is always less than 39 here. And here we have a number which is above 39, 40. So that's the number which cannot be the length of the third side.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we'll just scroll down. I think we'll go, all the other questions you've done quite well, except for this one here. The perpendicular bisectors of triangle ABC. This, I'm sure you knew it, somehow made a mistake there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perpendicular, any point on the perpendicular bisector will be equidistant from the end points of the line segment. So you got DC as 12. But then why not BD? BD is also on the perpendicular bisector, isn't it?
Yeah. Wait, where is this?
D. Scroll
Right.
down. Scroll down. Question number
Yeah.
7. I'm talking of this triangle. Okay.
Yeah.
You are asked to find BD. Question number 7. D is on the perpendicular bisector EC.
Yeah.
So D should be equidistant from B and A.
Mm-hmm.
So BD is also going to be 12.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. And then those triangles which you have drawn, of course, the acute triangle looks really something like some creepy insect it looks like. But I know what you wanted to show there. You wanted to show that these are being divided into equal parts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the idea. So that's okay. But the obtuse triangle, that's not correct. Okay, shall we? I'll just show you how the obtuse triangle goes. Can you see where I'm drawing?
Yeah.
Okay, this is an obtuse angle triangle, and you're asked to draw the perpendicular bisectors of the sides. Okay, so let's take each side at a time. So if you draw the perpendicular bisector of BC, a rough figure will do. It's going to go through the center of BC, and it's going to be perpendicular to BC. Then you have the perpendicular bisector of AB. If you draw the perpendicular bisector of AB, it's again going through the midpoint of AB, and it's going to be perpendicular to AB. It's going like that. And what about AC perpendicular? Again, you find the midpoint of AC, and then draw a line which is at 90 degrees to AC, a perpendicular to AC. It's actually going to go through the midpoint, through the point of intersection of the other two perpendicular bisectors. So these are all perpendicular and they meet outside. Okay? In an obtuse angle triangle, both the orthocenter, this is the orthocenter, this is the circumcenter. Okay? The point of concurrence of the perpendicular bisectors is the circumcenter. Not only the circumcenter, the orthocenter also, the point of concurrence of the altitudes also. Both of these will lie outside the circle, outside the obtuse angle triangle.
Okay.
Okay. In an acute angle triangle, they will lie inside the triangle. Okay, then to the plenty of questions. Some more have to be done, isn't it? You can do the rest of it, and we'll check in the next class. Okay, scrolling up, there's one question. Scroll up and come to question number 9. There, can you see here?
Yeah.
Which of the following statements is false? Medians intersect inside a triangle. That's true. Perpendicular bisectors intersect inside a triangle. Just now we saw one example, or you can say counter example, isn't it?
Yeah.
When it's an obtuse angle triangle, they do not intersect inside the triangle. So it is angle bisectors again will intersect inside a triangle. So it's only two. Two only is the answer there. Okay, so you can continue with this same worksheet, okay, and finish off the rest of it.
So would the
Uh,
answer be
which
B?
question? Which question?
For nine? For
9.
9?
Yeah, B. Two only.
Okay.
Because it's only the perpendicular bisectors. This is false, no? You have to say which of the following is false. So the second
Yeah.
one is false because it's not always true. Okay? For obtuse angle triangle, the perpendicular bisectors, they intersect outside the triangle. We just now saw one, isn't it? We
Yeah.
had that
What
figure.
about for number
What
5
about?
and 6? 5 and 6?
Scroll up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 and 6 also we have to discuss. Yes. 5, in the 5 again we have the centroid. Centroid is the point of concurrence of the medians.
Yeah.
Okay. Now when it comes to centroid, you should be always remember the ratio 2:1. See here, so if you look at BD is a centroid, BD is a median, and P is the centroid. Okay, P is the centroid, BD is the median, and every median is divided by the centroid in the ratio 2:1. That is, the distance between the vertex and the centroid will be 2 times the distance between the centroid and the midpoint. Okay,
Yeah.
the ratio is 2:1. And here you're given that the PD is 3. So BP is going to be 6, isn't it? Double of it. Because the ratio has to be 2:1. You can even do like this, BP over PD equals 2:1. You know, you can see where I'm writing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here you have BP over 3 is equal to 2:1. So BP is 6. So you have 6 here and you have 3 here. So you're asked for the total BD. BD will be 9. 6 plus 3, 9. So 9 is the choice.
Okay.
And question number 6, you have a whole lot of line segments there. You have to choose. Use the figure to identify a median. So if you look here, you have the midpoints and the equal segments shown. So D is the midpoint. So AD will be the median.
Are all the other ones correct for this one?
Yeah,
1 through.
then yeah. For which 7 and 8 are you talking? 7 and 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me check. I have checked it once. Let me see again. Yeah, 7 is correct. Your altitude is CE. That's correct. Then in this question, actually, 8th question, there's something wrong. Either there should have been there should be a figure given, or this E should be F or something, because there's no mention of here. Look at, if you draw this triangle
Yeah.
ABC, you have BF as the angle bisector. Okay, BF is the angle bisector, but you're asked to find the measure of BCE, whereas we don't know where E is, isn't it? What is E? We do not know. So I just do not, you can leave that question. There's something missing there.
Okay.
Okay, the next one, which of the following statements is false? Again, this we have done, isn't it?
Yeah.
We did, okay. And this question number, this one you did very well. All the questions are answered correctly. So we'll stop here with this homework. You can continue and finish off the rest of the worksheet, okay? Done well. I can see that you enjoy such worksheets, huh? Rather than having one single topic, you like to have a mixture of them, isn't it? Okay, we'll save this screen anyway.
Okay.
Have you saved?
Yeah.
Okay, shall I erase?
I'm sure.
Okay, so today I was thinking of going into right triangles. Right? We've been on circles for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I thought it's time we start off with right triangles. So this is the worksheet I've prepared for this lesson. Okay, in right triangles, the first theorem to be done, it's one of the most important theorems. This theorem actually is very helpful in proving Pythagoras theorem also. Okay, this theorem, if you see, can you see what's on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you notice, there are two, how many right triangles can you see here in this figure?
2.
Yeah, two obvious ones. But actually there are 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the triangle CAD also is a right triangle. BDC is a right triangle. And of course ACB is also a right triangle. So actually here what we have is a right triangle ABC to start with. ACB with a right angle at C. And from the
Yeah.
vertex which has the right angle, an altitude is dropped to the opposite side, that is to the hypotenuse. So let it meet the hypotenuse at D, say. Okay. So now actually what has happened is we have got three right triangles here. We can very easily prove all the three triangles to be similar, equiangular. You can show that they are all equiangular. So if they are equiangular by the AA similarity, okay, we can show that they are, all the three are similar. We can show that they are similar. Now, for that, one way, I think the best way to do it is to be, we'll assign angles to these, we'll give measures to these angles. We'll call this as x, okay?
Okay.
So let me separate the triangle here. Suppose we have CAB. We first consider CAB. We have a 90-degree here, and just now I have put x over here. So how much will be, what will be the value of this, or the measure of this angle B? You already have a 90 here. So what about angle A and angle B? Won't they be complementary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
90 minus x.
very good. So this is going to be 90 minus x. All right. Now let's take the other triangle, CDB. Let's take CDB.
Mm-hmm.
If you take CDB, again we have a 90 over here, and we have already got a 90 minus x over here, isn't it? From the previous triangle. So what will be the angle over here? So part C, you can say the part of angle C here. Right?
45.
No, why I didn't say this is 45. We don't have this as 45. We have this as 90 minus x. Again, the sum of these two should be 90, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if one is 90 minus x, the other should be x, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Ah, so here this is x. And then let's take the third triangle there. It's again CDA. We have 90 here. We have x here. So we'll have 90 minus x here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now look at the three triangles. All their angles are the same. They have 90. The first triangle, if you take, it's 90x, 90 minus x. Here also we have 90x, 90 minus. Here also we have 90x, 90 minus. So they are equiangular. And if they are equiangular, that's the definition of similar triangles, isn't it? So the triangles are similar. So all the three triangles are similar, but when you write the similarity statement, you should put the order correctly. Okay? So we'll start off with the full triangle, this one. We'll write this first.
Okay.
So it's ACB. Now can you tell me what will be the order of the vertices for this triangle? Look at the previous one. How we have gone. ACB would be x 90, 90 minus x. So how would you write it in this triangle?
ADC.
Yeah, very good. So it's ADC. Now tell me for the third one.
Let's see.
This is D here.
Okay. CDB.
Very good. CDB. Okay, so this is how you write the statement, similarity statement for all the three triangles. If you know what the angles are, then you won't go wrong in writing the order incorrectly. And because all these three triangles are similar, you get a whole lot of proportionality ratios. You get so many ratios that scrolling down, we come to the next part, That is geometric mean theorems based on the same similarity. Okay? Because these triangles are similar, you can take two triangles at a time and write the similarity, the sides. If you write the proportional sides ratios, you get very good, nice, easy ratios like BD over CD, BD over CD equals CD over AD. And you can write this from your statement, this statement also. See from the top, from this statement, if you take two triangles at a time, you get a set of three ratios, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the first one, if you take the first two, you get AC over AD. Can you tell me? Can you tell me what? I've taken AC from here and AD from here. And then I say CB over, what will be the corresponding side on the other side corresponding to AD.
Wait,
See how I've written AC AD, then
Yeah.
CB.
AB.
No, see I've gone like this: AC AD. Okay, first, second, then CB second and third. So DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going from A to B. Okay, like this: AB over, here it will be
AC.
AC. So for every two similar triangles, I get three sets of ratios, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now what has happened is you'll find that if I choose this ratio and this ratio, I get a square when I cross product, isn't it? Because I get an AC there and an AC here. Okay? So when I take the cross product, I get AC squared equals AD times AB. You follow that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So similarly, if I had taken the second and the third triangle, even I would get a cross product there with a square. And if I take the first and the third also, I'll get a square when I take the cross product. So those three ratios have been put here as theorem 9.2 and 9.3. See here
Yeah.
you can go ahead and even take the product. CD squared would be BD times AD. Here I'll get CB squared is AB times DB or BD, and here I'll get AC squared is AB times AD. Now these are known as the geometric mean theorems, okay? Because if CD squared is BD times AD, what will be
Yeah.
CD? CD will be the square root of BD times AD.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is known as the geometric mean. CD is the geometric mean of BD and AD.
Uh-huh.
So now let's look at the figure and see how we can connect. CD is the altitude right at the middle inside the triangle, and it is simply the geometric mean between these two segments.
Yeah.
Okay, then we come to the next one, CB squared. CB is also an altitude because it's making 90-degree here. So CB squared is the CB is the geometric mean of AB times DB. See, this segment DB times the full segment AB. And AC squared or AC would be the geometric mean of the small segment AD times the full segment AB. This you should learn how to, because you'll be given just questions with numbers over here. You'll be given 2, 3, and then you'll be asked to find without using Pythagorean theorem, you can directly find the length of the altitudes if you know these theorems. Okay. Now, with this in mind, we can go ahead and do the questions which follow. Okay. Look at this diagram. Again, it's the same situation, isn't it? We have a 90-degree here, and from the vertex which contains the 90-degree, we are drawing an altitude. So we have all the three triangles similar to each other. Okay, now can you fill up the blank here? You're supposed to use the theorems we just now learned. KL is the dash of ML and JL.
Altitude?
KL is an altitude, but here you're asked to write it as, I think here, just now look up what did I use here, the word I used here. CD is the geometric mean of BD and AB. That is what you're supposed to put here. Yeah, geometric. Okay. So it's geometric mean of ML and JL. Now, now writing the statement, similarity statement, JKL similar to the other two triangles. You're good at that, but if you need help, you can put the angles. Shall I put X here? And you have a 90 here, so this is going to be
90 minus X.
Yeah. So the rest of it is going to be X. You have 90, and this is 90 minus X. Okay, so now let's go JKL. JKL, J is X, K is 90 minus X, and L is 90. So in that order, you should write, okay, you can write the triangle.
JLK?
No, JKL we have already written, isn't it? Now go for the other triangle, this triangle here, LMK triangle. In which order can you write the vertices?
KLM.
Yeah, very good. K, L, no, not L. L is 90, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we want here, the second vertex is
KML.
KML. Okay, similar to, now the next one, the full triangle, the whole triangle, JMK. JMK triangle.
JMK. Yeah, it's JMK.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Then next, last one. You can read the last one.
Okay.
Which segment's length is the geometric mean of ML and MJ? ML, MJ. ML, MJ. There are three altitudes here. Which one will be the geometric mean of ML and MJ? For that, you have to look, you go for the altitude which is nearer or adjacent to ML. Because you take altitude which is adjacent, you can say, to ML, or ML is the segment over here.
Yeah.
So the altitude which is next KL, okay? It's not KL. It is either MK or JK. So for finding out which of those two, you should look. See, here you have the product of ML and MJ. ML is adjacent to this altitude, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it is the geometric mean of mk.
Oh, okay. KL is a geometry.
So mk is equal to root of ml times mj. So we say that mk is the geometric mean of ml and mj. Okay. What will be the jk? Jk is the geometric mean of see which is the segment close to that.
Um,
Just the segment. This
KL.
no. KL is the altitude. KL is one of the altitudes. Okay. So you leave that out. JK is adjacent to JL, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's JL and JM. Okay, product of
Yeah.
JL and JM. So JK is the root of JL times JM. So JK is the geometric mean of JL and JM. It'll come to you. You need to practice, okay? We'll draw
Yeah.
different triangles, and when you write it down, you'll with practice you'll be able to do it. Now, here again, writing similarity statements for the three similar triangles, then completing the portion. So here, if you need the help of the angles, you can always put the angles there. X 90 is going to be 90 minus x. This is going to be 90 minus x. Or you can even, let me teach you another way of doing it. Probably you find that easier. You find that without the angles also. We can go for the common angle, shared angle. Okay.
Okay.
Now we'll just start off with one of the triangles, like triangle XWZ. Okay. Now X is a shared angle. If you look at the full triangle, Y is XZ. If you look at YXZ also, X is common to both these triangles, isn't it? So that you can put X there. Then W of this triangle is 90. So of YXZ, which is the which is the 90-degree triangle, is the Z angle, which is 90 degrees, isn't it? So here you'll get Z, and then of course Y will be the third vertex. Hello, Pujan?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, you're still online?
Yeah.
Okay. Message saying that you've gone offline. Okay, here. So Y is common there. Y is the common vertex. So we'll put, so if you look at this triangle, this big triangle XZY, and I want you to name this correctly, this triangle correctly.
Okay. The ZWY one.
Ah,
Okay. So it'd be XZY XZY.
the Y and the Y will come at the end, isn't it? Because they're,
Yeah.
and the Z is 90, the 90 in this triangle is W, so that'll come
Yeah.
second. So the third one would be, so you
Z.
have to find your own way of doing it, okay? But writing the order correctly is the key. You have to
Yeah.
get that correct. Okay, now once that is done, how will you fill up this blank? You have
Oh.
XW, ZW, and you have So it's between this and this.
Yeah.
You think
Is it Z? Is it ZW?
Yeah. Yes, correct. Again, you have the ZW squared, isn't it? You have
Yeah.
the geometric mean also coming there. So here now in the next question, you have SQ. So, and if you know SQ squared is QT times QR, then it becomes very easy. You don't even need to write all this. SQ squared is QT times QR.
Yeah.
So,
Q.
so, uh,
Q.
so here it should be QR.
Or yeah, QR.
Okay, now look at the third one. You have EG squared,
E
EG squared.
is equal to EF times EH.
Very good. So you already have EF here. You need to put
Yeah.
EH there. Very good. Okay, now we come to numbers, right?
Okay.
Finding dB. So you put dB as x and write it as the geometric, using the geometric mean theorem. You can write it here. CD squared equals
AD times
dB.
AB.
No,
DB.
it's CD, no? It's CD is the altitude in the middle. For that, it's
Oh.
just the product of the two segments. Times, yeah,
So it'd be
12,
144
yeah,
equals 16 times x.
x,
So
yeah.
16x equals 144.
Mm.
X equals, let me check. 9.
Okay, what about next one? HF. So you can put HF as x there, and then this is going to be how much?
Uh, wait a second. Okay.
No, we don't need that. Actually, we don't need that, isn't it? Because GF is given.
Yeah.
So GF is the geometric mean of HF and EF. So GF squared would be
400 equals,
mhm,
let's see,
HF times EF.
HF times EF. So it'd be 25x.
Yeah.
Six.
Mhm. Next one.
Okay. So find JK.
JK is
That is,
uh,
so, okay, so
full length.
32 squared,
Uh-huh.
32 times 32 equals 100, 1,200, 1,024
Uh-huh.
equals 15 times,
JK.
isn't it JK? So
Yeah.
15 plus x,
Mm.
15
Times X.
times,
Times X.
15 times x.
Okay.
So it'd be 15x equals 1024. X equals 68.26.
Okay. You're doing well, but then don't leave the answer in X. X is something which we have put. So final
Yeah.
answer when you can write dB equals for the first one. Next one you can write HF equals, yeah,
JK is 83.
yeah, JK, yeah. How is it 83? Which one?
83.26.
I thought it was 68.
Yeah,
Look
but
at
no,
the, that's,
what is it? JM.
no, it's the whole thing. It's not JM. See,
Yeah, yeah,
30,
yeah.
32 squared is MK times JK.
Okay. Equals 68.
Right. You subtracted from 100 or something to get that 32. What did you do?
No,
How,
68.26.
yeah. How did you get 80?
Oh, I added 15 because I thought JM
Okay,
was
okay,
next.
okay, okay. All right. But this is directly you're getting the answer with using geometric mean theorem. All right. Now, 22nd question.
Okay. QS. Okay. So 40
Mm,
squared is equals 32x.
yeah.
40 times 40 is 1,600
Yep.
equals 32x. So we 1,600 divided by 2. 50. X equals 50.
Yeah. Correct. Doing very well. Okay, again, but don't leave it as S. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, CD. Yeah. What about CD?
Okay.
CD is, and see very nicely they've given you a perfect square there. Yeah.
X equals 16.
X squared equals 16, isn't it?
So X equals 4.
4. Or CD equals 4.
Yeah. CD equals 4.
And the last one there, FH.
Is
H,
H this?
H is here. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so FH is okay, so X squared equals, is it 7 times 18?
Which one? FH. FH squared is again, yeah. It's no. Yeah. 7 times 18. You subtracted, isn't it? Very
Yeah.
good. Yes.
18 times 7. 7 square root of 126 is 11. Okay, so 6. X equals roughly
Mm-hmm.
2, 2.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to give you some homework now on the same thing. Okay, what we have learned today, same
Okay.
thing. I've put homework for you. Actually, I've put a few homework on circles also. You do
Yeah.
them at your own pace. Okay, no hurry.
Okay.
Uh, they are called. I'll give you the IDs. Uh, this one is the one which I want you to do from this chapter is called Pythagorean theorem. I write it there on top, right on top. Okay, and scroll up. Uh, Pythagorean theorem.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's the one which is on based on this lesson. And then the circles one I have already put earlier. Okay, it's called circles C9 96-2. You'll find it there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do them for before the next class. We have a class tomorrow, 2010, I think, your time.
Yeah.
Okay then. See you
Okay.
then.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, Poojan. Bye.